met your twin flame and you feel like you're being punished? You feel like everything in your life is blowing up completely. Your head is spinning, you feel like you're crazy, and you have no idea why. And you really, truly feel like someone from higher above is punishing you. If that is you, whether you just met your twin flame or you've been on this journey for 10 years, stay tuned to this message. Hi, my name is Michelle Fondin. I'm the author of 14 published books, including Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, and Twin Flame Union, The 7 Keys to a Healthy Twin Flame Journey. I've been on the twin flame journey for nearly 8 years. Yes, 8 years. Now I'm going to be doing a video as it gets closer to the date, which was September 15th. And so stay tuned for that too. So if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications so you never miss a video on this channel. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, interact below with the comments. Now I want to make a quick announcement and we're gonna get started with this message. The quick announcement is, on Saturday, August 22nd of 2026, I just opened my Etsy store so you can find these books, author signed copies in custom made gift packages with other gifts that are related to all of my published books, with gifts, signed copies, dedicated copies, with gift wraps and bows and other items. You can check that out at the link below. I've been wanting to do this topic for quite some time because I've been coaching twin flames since 2019. And a comment that I get very frequently is, I didn't ask for this. It was not on my radar. I didn't mean to meet this person. It seemed like a mistake, but the connection is undeniable. And now I feel like I'm being punished. I know this can be the feeling when you meet a twin flame. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens to a lot of people. There are so many reasons for this. We're going to explore some of these reasons. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a punishment. It's not God, the universe, karma. This is not a punishment. This is a setup by your higher self for your soul's journey. This is the next stage, the next step on your soul's journey. Meeting a twin flame is one way to awaken, but it's not the only way. There are so many ways you can embark upon a spiritual journey. I'll give you my example in just a minute. Now, if you are married or you're in a long-term committed relationship with someone and you've met your twin flame, it can feel like a punishment. If you've been searching for love for a really long time and you met your twin flame and they live 3,000 miles or 10,000 miles away from you, it can feel like a punishment. If you are working at a place and you meet your twin flame and it just so happens to be your boss and that's a forbidden romance, it can feel like a punishment. If you meet your twin flame and they are running as fast as they can go away from you, it can feel like a punishment. Do you see where I'm going with this? There are so many circumstances where we meet our twin flame and it's elation. It's the heart chakra ripping open to unconditional love, and you don't know what has happened. It has blindsided you. You go into this euphoric state and all feels right with the world, with the universe, until you land with your feet on earth and realize this can't happen. Or I want this to happen, but why is that person running? Or I want this to happen, but I really don't want this to happen because I don't want to blow up my marriage and I have kids and I have a house and I have a commitment. Or you finally landed your dream career and your twin flame happens to be your boss and you're like, I want this to happen, but I don't want this to happen. I've been waiting for this career my whole life. Now why am I here meeting this twin flame? Let me say first that everything happens in divine timing and therefore everything happens in perfect timing. When you meet your twin flame, it is because your soul is ready to meet them. It's because your soul has agreed that you are in a space to awaken and open up to the journey. There are no mistakes there, and it is not a punishment. Anytime you have a new perspective in life, and it might be forced upon you, but you have a new perspective in life, everything around you tends to change. And I'm sure you can think of certain times in which this has happened. There are junctures in your life, there are circumstances, choices, events, decisions that transform your life forever, that do not involve meeting a twin flame. I'm going to give you one that happened to me, or for me, I should say. Back in 1999, I was 28 years old. I had 2 small children. I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Now, I'm saying this to demonstrate to you that A, it was not something I would choose, not in a bazillion years, not in a trillion years, not something I would consciously choose. 2, it changed and transformed my life and gave me a new perspective in an instant. You see, when we're 28 years old, we don't often think about our own mortality. This forced me to think about my own mortality. 3, it forced a spiritual awakening through the stretching of my belief system. Now, a lot of times I go into retrospect mode, and sometimes in my darkest hour, I think, why did that have to happen? I didn't ask for that to happen. I didn't want that to happen. So many terrible things came through with that, but also so many blessings came through with that. I did feel at the time like I was being punished, that I wasn't doing enough to be a good person, that somehow I was paying off some karmic debt. Now, let me say this to you, that for years, I had been trying to become a published author, and it wasn't until I wrote The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, in which I told my story about finding alternative medicine during my cancer diagnosis, that I became a published author. So some might say that that terrible situation that I didn't want and didn't ask for, and that turned my life upside down, gave me a blessing. In other words, I turned my mess into a message. I know that's a little cliche. A lot of people say that, but it's true. I turned my mess into a message. Not only that, but I turned my mess into a lifestyle, a very different lifestyle and belief system than I had previously had up until then. Now, that wasn't my first spiritual awakening in 1999. I had had one previously. I just didn't know that's what that was. A lot of times when we meet a twin flame, we can go into victim mode because the twin flame journey is so incredibly complex. It's complicated. It brings about a lot of emotions. It brings about a lot of pain. It brings about emotional suffering. It seems kind of unnecessary, doesn't it? It does. It seems kind of unnecessary. And if you just enter the 2 words, twin and flame, together In a search engine, you're going to get a lot of negativity about a toxic relationship, a codependent, awful cults even, right? You're going to get a lot of negativity. Is it justified? Some of it may be justified, sure. But I believe that the reason why there is so much black and white surrounding the twin flame journey is because it's so complex. It's not an easy, straightforward romantic partnership relationship. And really, to be frank, what relationship romantically is that straightforward? There aren't very many that are that straightforward. However, what it brings about within you is enormous change. And the change and transformation comes through your spiritual awakening. Now, I've coached, like I said, I've coached well over 1,000 twin flames since 2019 through my tarot readings and coaching, through my online courses. And here is the conclusion that I have made. I have twin flames who I've coached who are together with their twin flame, living happily ever after. Yes, that does exist. The twin flames I personally know that have lived happily ever after have listened to the advice that I have given to them through my own experience and through the experience of me watching twin flame journeys in all of my clients, right? Because when you see things firsthand, when people are telling you their stories over months and years, you begin to notice the patterns. You understand what works and what doesn't work. The twin flames that are together living happily ever after have understood the principle that the twin flame journey is primarily for your highest good. And it's for your spiritual development, your spiritual awakening, your personal growth, your personal development. And that it is not designed to punish you, but it is designed to stretch you, to make you grow. Think about giving birth, for example, if you've ever given birth. Now, if you're a dude, this is not going to be pertinent to you, but maybe you've watched somebody give birth. During the birthing process, especially if you're unmedicated, it can feel like it's a punishment, right? Like all I wanted was this beautiful baby, and now I have to go through this torture. It's pretty awful. But the torture, the discomfort, the pain is stretching you to grow in order to be prepared for what comes next. Raising a human being is no easy feat. Raising a human being is very trying on who you are as a person. It makes you question everything that you are. It makes you question every single decision you've ever made. It questions your vulnerability. It questions everything. So if going through a pregnancy and giving birth were easy, everybody would do it without giving it much thought. And some people do. So maybe it's a bad analogy. But to that end, the birthing process is a part of the stretching and growing of what is to come. What is to come is not going to be simple. So when you're going through a spiritual awakening, what it is doing is it's stretching you to grow, to question your decisions from the past, to question your belief systems, to re-examine your relationship with yourself, which is so essential, to re-examine your relationships with other people. And maybe you will come to similar conclusions that, hey, my life has been pretty good up until now, but maybe not. So the twin flames that I have seen that have successfully made it through the journey, whether or not they happen to be with their twin flame right now, the ones who are successful examine these questions, look at the twin flame meeting as an opportunity to do a lot of personal growth, a lot of personal development, move into the spiritual realm of this development. Those who resist, those who are in continual pain and suffering and obsession and sadness and depression are resisting the process. They tend to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. They tend to be on a hamster wheel. They tend not to listen to the advice offered through my books, through my courses, through my coaching. Now, again, I'm just speaking of those that have communicated with me firsthand, right? That's my only observation is myself and those that I've coached. But those who go into resistance, they resist that it's a spiritual journey, so they're not doing their spiritual work. What is spiritual work? It means meditating, moving through the trusting of their intuition, communing with their higher self, right? Through those things. But also understanding that it's a personal development journey, that it is stretching you to go further, to grow further, to become a better person, a more awakened person in yourself. So those that are resisting it as a part of this twin flame journey, not wanting to make the decisions they know they need to make to change and transform their lives, or to move through the personal development, or to move through the spiritual development, they stay in the pain and suffering, and it does feel like punishment. Okay, it does feel like punishment. So think of any other difficult situation that you moved through in life where there was a sudden change and transformation in your life and you resisted that change. Was that life transition harder or was it easier? I'm willing to bet a lot of money that it was much harder. Whether, for example, your parents moved you to a foreign country and you decided to resist it the whole way, you probably had a much more painful experience than if you had embraced it, even though it wasn't your choice. So I'm here to tell you that if you change your perspective from, I'm being punished having met this twin flame because I wasn't ready, I didn't ask for it, I'm not in a life position to be with this person, or I want to be with this person, but they're running from me. If you change your perspective to, what can I learn from this? What am I learning from this? Where in my life have I not been completely 100% honest with myself? If you examine all of those things, including moving into the spiritual development phase of your life, then you will move into a smoother transition into this big life change for you, whether you're with your twin flame or not. Remember, it's all about you. As I say in most of my twin flame videos, reunion with your twin flame is a nice to have. It is icing on the cake. It's the frosting right on top of that cake. And it's so yummy and it tastes so good. But the foundation is the cake, right? If you don't have a cake, you just have a bowl of frosting and it's very soft and it's squishy. And when it heats up, it just runs all over the place, right? So your foundation needs to be strong. And this is going to lead you to the next logical step in your life, which is going to be so much better than you can ever imagine. My life is 1,000 times better after I met my twin flame than before. And it's because I embraced this journey. I moved through this journey. I learned everything I possibly could learn and am still learning because I awakened with a new spiritual awakening on my twin flame journey. And I hope that you can too. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. You can check out my other twin flame playlists. I don't post twin flame videos anymore very often, but I have well over 1,400 twin flame videos on this YouTube channel. Make sure to check out my Etsy store with my new twin flame gift packages. This is a fun way to get resources and maybe to gift it to somebody else who you know is a twin flame. And it's brand new and I'm really excited for it. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.